Evening to Adkins in the chat. Looking forward to this evening. And another full grid over on Blobby Mondays with Baker Plays. We're really getting it going now with the numbers adding up and every seat being taken. Good evening to Blockimus as well. Another one of those drivers. Evening to Bazza. No sound on the DRS channel. Evening to Bazza. No. There's definitely sound on the DRS channel for me, because I've just turned my phone up and I heard my own voice. So I don't know quite what's happened there. It's definitely working my end, as I have the feed on. Definitely tough track Japan, all about nailing sector 1. Dangerous at the start as well, that little turn before the proper turn 1. I think this week and next week at Qatar we'll catch a few people out. What with the unfamiliarity, let's say, with Qatar being a relatively new track, I'm certainly hoping I can find some time to do some practicing, but that may be difficult with the schedule I've got this week. Just a reminder, I won't be here on Thursday for DRS Extreme, as I'll be in Glasgow on Europa League duty. So do tune in to DRL UK, however, because King Kong and or Sainsy will be taking the reins. Evening to Webster, also in the chat. The whole league's coming over. We love it. We love it. We look forward later on to another full grid and another exciting race. We are still on the lookout for another commentator, of course, as I'm racing in the league. So if you're interested, do please drop us a line. Blockimus looking forward to 130R. I'll try to not do anything too rash into the last chicane, as I did the other day in socials and hit one of the AIs. And hopefully there's no more glitching like there was in social play last week, where I got disqualified for being hit by an AI. So I'm not sure how the game worked that one out. It was also giving out penalties for others for absolutely nothing. So hopefully none of that tonight. Looks like drivers are starting to ready up again. So we've only lost about 10 minutes on that. Eventually people will ready up and we'll get going. Smug's there, so the others should be doing so as well. Starting to be 15 minutes behind schedule. Get any further. So here we go, we've got a countdown time at last. Now we'll get back into the lobby, which hopefully this time doesn't bug everybody out. Hello to Jonathan in the chat. We've got, I think, 5 or 6 Blobby Mondays drivers now in the chat. Blockimus, Wabs, Adkins, Jonathan. Hello to you all, and just looking forward to this evening's race. With the return of Schlurak, who, though some of you will remember, won the first race of Blobby Mondays back in Bahrain. That seems an awful long time ago. Anyway, focus back now on to this here DRS in Canada. Now we'll just wait for somebody to come out, which a few are doing. Oh, that's Harry. Colin usually out fast, and there he is. So now hopefully no more bugging of lobbies and we can get racing. As Colin makes his way round in front of 5 or 6 others who are out to set an early benchmark. So the AlphaTauri looks like it's going to be the first one to go off on a hot lap. So we will stay with Colin as he comes up towards the Wall of Champions chicane. A big glitch there. And away we go on the first hot lap of the session. Just the right amount of curve there. Very easy to invalidate on this track, including most frustratingly at the Wall of Champions. Colin then off down this back straight. Just the perfect bit of curve there and up towards the line. A 111.8 for Colin gets us underway. And that's beaten by Sainsy, just. Also a 111.8, but a 0.1 ahead of a 5.5. Sloth does a 112.6. Miller Vanilla, 111.7. King Kong, 112.7. Syme, a 110.5. The form of this man is incredible at the moment, and he's just lopped a whole second plus off the early running. Incredible stuff. from Syme. 50 Gent with a 1:13.3. Senna a 1:11.4. And Boris a 1:11.0. So Boris goes P2. Senna third. We'll very much enjoy that start. And that's quite busy on track at the moment. Let's go and see where Brad is. Fighting his way through traffic. He's also on a medium tyre on this lap. Mr. Pickle and Smarger in the action. Mr. Pickle, 1:11.0. He goes P2. What can Brad do here? $1:11.5 for Brad, and that's P5. He's got some more pace in him. As you can see, he's on medium tyres there. Easy Life for 1:12.7. Ninja's on his way round again. Al Newt back into the pits, and here's Swanton. So Swanton and Syme, two of the protagonists for the title. Swanton trying to see what he can do. Syme way clear, still half a second better than anybody else. Here comes Swanton. There's been an accident there. And Swanton goes over to 1:13. He has been known to chain these laps though. Do an extra out lap and then chain it. Ninjas goes over 1:32. I believe it's his car that we saw facing the wrong way around by the Wall of Champions there. Certainly not an uncommon occurrence. Swanton this time a second and a half to the good. So he could be looking top six with this lap. And up to the line comes Swanton, 1:11.0, P2 for Swanton. Smugs up to 8th, 1:11.7, ahead of Miller Vanilla. Just Al Newt now left to set a time. And let's go to him now as he comes down the back straight. And it's 1:12.7 for Al Newt, and that puts him in 13th. Here's Miller Vanilla. leave you for a second with Miller Vanilla. No, we won't, because he's invalidated. Smug's well down. Ronnie. We will leave you with Ronnie for just... No, we won't. He's invalidated. Anybody else? No. So nobody at the moment doing anything of note. There's our mute. He's doing something of note. He climbs to P11. You need to briefly step away to go and get a bottle of water that I forgot to get before we started. But I will do that at the most opportune time I can. Here's Boris. I will be back very shortly. In fact, Boris is invalidated again. Whenever I try to leave, someone invalidates. Brad Mason has split Syme and Swanton. He's up to P2. There's very low battery left, so this is not going to be another attempt here. Sending in and out of that one. Collins on an out lap. Bear with me just 1 second, folks. Get some water and be back. It appears that the trend continues of people invalidating when I stay on them for too long. Miller Vanilla's dropped right to 12th, but he is half a second up here. There's still sign from Brad, Swanton, Mr. Pickle, Boris, Sloth right up there in 6th, Senna in 7th. There's Miller Vanilla, can I put it this time? Seems to take that really quickly. Up towards the line, Miller Vanilla. 1:11.2, and that is P6 for the Pro-Am runaway leader and, dare I say, champion-elect, Miller Vanilla. Here's Sainsy, and he's up through Sector 2. 1:11.5 for Sainsbury puts him into the top 10. P10 then for Sainsbury. Here's our Newt. We're about to get an invalidation for our Newt. We're about to get very busy on track, as we are in the last 3.5 minutes now of the session. So I think let's stick with Syme. As he completes an outlap. Here goes Syme then to start another lap. And Syme's getting out of it. Syme's got right out of that. And he'll try and go around and have another go. Here's Mr. Pickle. He's up through Sector 2. Mr. Pickle to the line, 110.9 puts him in P3, ahead now of Swanton. Here's Boris, who has invalidated. Senna does not improve. Just about a minute to go. We'll try to get you everyone coming across the line as they do so. Easy Life starts another lap. Got a Red Bull, which is Smug, completing his out lap. Everybody else coming across the line to do that. That includes Syme, I believe. In fact, Syme now on his final hot lap. Boris starts his flyer. We await the checkered flag now, 10 seconds. So some yellows in sector 3 and they might not get there. Mr. Pickle cruising and he's not going to make the checkered flag here. So his session is over. Boris Johnson sets the fastest lap of the session. Brad can't improve, Syme can't improve, Mr. Pickle can't improve. Swanton improves for P3, but only P3. Here's Minna Vanilla. Minna Vanilla to P5. Here's Sloth. And Sainsbury goes across, and I believe that's it. Boris Johnson claims pole right at the death for Alpine, a 110.1. Still it away from Syme, Swanton and Brad. And no surprise to see Miller Vanilla right up with a pace in 5th. It will be a short break. I'm hoping not too much of a break today while the drivers sort out their strategies and fuel loads. But here's the order. Boris Johnson for Alpine on pole from Syme's Alfa Romeo in 2nd. Swanton in 3rd with Brad Mason in 4th. Then it's Miller Vanilla's AlphaTauri and Mr. Pickles Ferrari 5th and 6th. King Kong is 7th for Aston Martin from Sloth in 8th for Williams. The second Aston Martin of Sainsey is in P9 and he will be with Senna in 10th. Then it's Ronnie 11th, Colin 12th, Smug 13th, Audi 14th, Easy Life 15th, 50 Gent and Ninjas. So on the formation lap, I'll take you through all the strategy, well, the tyre choices anyway. Before that, if you're watching on DRL UK, you'll see some graphics with the team and each of the Pro and Pro-Am standings. If you're watching on my channel, you'll just have to listen to me as I reel those off. A sunny view of the pit lane then. And now let's find these stats for you quickly. So Swanton actually does lead the championship by just 5 points from Syme. Smug is in 3rd. From Ben Lane, Miller Vanilla, Joker. The pro standings, however, Syme leads Swanton by 8 points. Make it make sense. Interesting. Miller Vanilla, however, is a mile clear. A full 66 points clear of an excellent battle between Ronnie Levi and 50 Gent for 2nd on 95, 94 and 93 points respectively. Sainsey, Al Newton, Easy Life will hope to close the gap, but with Levi not here, Ronnie and 50 Gent have a big opportunity to go for that 2nd place. In terms of what it means for the constructors, AlphaTauri lead the way, mainly thanks to Miller Vanilla's superb run in the Pro-Am. Alfa Romeo 23 points behind. They lead Mercedes by 9, who lead Red Bull by 8, who lead Alpine by 14. Then 11 back are Ferrari, 11 further back are McLaren, 9 behind them are Haas, 12 behind are Aston Martin, and Williams just a point adrift at the bottom. So a good battle there throughout the Constructors' Championship. That brings you bang up to date with everything that's going on in the land of DRS. Now we await the signal. Which in our case should be a countdown on the screen, or just throwing us straight into the formation lap. So, a bit of a delay here. Not quite sure why we're having such a long delay after a restarted lobby, but there you go. Just hoping the race is done within about an hour. As usual, trying to do about 2 laps of practice around Japan. The last one was not too bad, so let's not complain about that. So waiting is the order of the day for now. You can see the cars there on the grid on your right hand side as we look down the pit straight. And here we go, on to the formation lap. The strategies are suggesting hard to medium or medium soft for a 2-stopper. Let's see what the drivers are going for. Well, difference of opinion once again. Only Senna brave enough for the softs. He's in P10. The front two, Boris and Syme, on the hards. Swanton then, Brad, Miller Vanilla and Mr. Pickle all on the medium compound tyre. Ahead of King Kong, Sloth, Sainsy all on the hards. And then Senna on the softs. Baker, good evening. I hope you are feeling better, my friend. And ready for a nice short haul trip to Suzuka this evening. Ronnie is in 11th on hard tyres from Colin in 12th on mediums. Syme and Swanton have been disqualified from the warm-up lap, so I'm not sure what happened there. Hijinks perhaps. Smug is the final of the hard runners. And then our Newts, Easy Life 50 Gen and Ninjas all on mediums. Baker still under the weather, but good to go tonight. That's what we like to hear. Good to go tonight, part that is. Don't forget to give Baker a follow if you're over on Kick. It's kick.com/BakerPlays with a Z. Alpine indeed on pole. It's the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Just getting the last couple parking up now on the grid. And we'll be ready to go. We are ready to go. That's 5 lights. And out they go, and away we go. And off the line well is Boris. And Swanton is going to make a move on Syme up the inside. Nope, he doesn't make it stick. Mr. Pickle is in 4th. Swanton now making the move on Syme, and up into 2nd place goes. But he cut the corner. He cut the corner, Swanton. And surely he's going to have to give that back. Syme's going to fight him for it anyway. Mr. Pickle's there as well. And Brad as well, also getting involved. Mr. Pickle and Brad scrapping now. And wide, and off goes Mr. Pickle. Off goes Mr. Pickle. And he's lost several places thanks to that. He's dropped right down to 8th and maybe now 9th place. And now Sainsy's really cut the corner. Collins, and there's all sorts of nonsense gone on at the hairpin. Sainsy cut the corner and got a penalty. Colin has crashed. All kinds of nonsense at the back there. And I think Sainsy may have been the cause of it. Easy Life is out. And we've got a full safety car. We've got a safety car here. And I'm not sure what I saw there at the hairpin, but Sainsy cut the corner and got a penalty. Colin then got caught up and also got a penalty. Colin's in the pit lane serving that penalty, and he's gone for another set of the hard tyre. Baker hoping for rain tonight, and Jonathan not. I think I'd rather it were dry tonight. Have been finding a little bit of race pace in Japan in socials, if not being killed by AIs or Cam the other week in a rather spectacular, so I'm told, crash. Of course, if it is wet, let's just hope we're allowed to put wet tyres on, as we do not want another Monza incident. I'm hoping my teammate Noodles does not DNF, even though I am back up to second in the championship thanks to it. The Red Bulls need the points, and we need to get after Baker at the top. Some very interesting aspects, though. We're welcoming back a former winner in Schlurak, all the way from week 1 in Bahrain. Indeed, don't mention the Monza. Yes. So here they are picking up the safety car. Boris Johnson, your leader, from Swanton in second. Syme is third. Brad Mason's fourth, from Sloth in fifth. Then it's King Kong. Ronnie is seventh, from Smug in eighth. Miller Vanilla is ninth. Don't know what happened to him. He was up as high as fifth early on. Senna is 10th. Then it's our Newton 11. 50 Gent up to 12th. Mr. Pickle down to 13th. Ninjas in 14th, Sainsy 15th, and Colin catching the field in 16th place. And he's not going to do that quickly enough for the safety car to be on his way in this lap. So we will have another lap of safety car action. Joker saying no penalty and cut the corner. I think if you mean Sainsy, he did get a penalty. If you mean Swanton, it seemed to be one of those you might get a warning for. But I'll leave any disputes to the steward's room, of course. Difficult enough doing that in my own league, as Baker will tell you all. Get the popcorn out in the Discord after the races. Certainly in probably Baker's Mondays anyway. Swanton, yeah. I think maybe he'd have got an in-game warning for that one rather than a straight penalty. The safety car is in this lap. Comes around the hairpin where all the nonsense took place. And Boris can now dictate the pace as the safety car disappears towards the pit lane. There goes the safety car. Boris will back them up as much as he likes. And Syme's coming a bit hot there and almost collided with Swanton. And that's helped Boris actually get a good getaway. Syme had a look though. Didn't make a move. Mr. Pickle goes past 50 Gent and back up into 12th place. He's got some recovering to do. Swanson closing now on Boris. But not enough. Love this helicopter cam. Syme taking a little bit of a wider line, a lock up from Brad Mason. No DRS for 3 laps, remember. Miller Vanilla's lost a couple of places there. And he's dropped all the way to 13th, Miller Vanilla. Here comes Swanton for the lead. Round the outside, which becomes the inside. And Swanton takes the lead of the race. Mr. Pickle takes the fastest lap so far. He's back up to 10th as he begins his recovery drive. Swanton into the lead though from Boris. Then it's Syme and Brad. Sloth, King Kong and Ronnie. Top 7, all within a second of one another in a train, as you can see. Going to be very interesting once the DRS is enabled. As Miller Vanilla loses another place to his teammate Colin. Swanton's picked up a time penalty. Bit of a wobble from Boris, and that's going to allow Syme through. And Brad Mason sets the fastest lap of the race, and he's looking to pass Boris as well. Ronnie is past King Kong, who had a little wobble on the exit as well, so Ronnie managed to get away. Boris picks up a time penalty now. Apart from the social race, Baker, I have had no practice as well. And even less so next week for Qatar, so I'm really going to struggle there. So it's Swanton from Syme and Boris. But Swanton and Boris, early penalties. Lap 7 of 35. DRS now open. Ronnie going up through the field here. He's up to 5th. Ronnie passes Sloth. King Kong passes Sloth, and Smug also passes Sloth. So 3 places lost there for Sloth. Mr. Pickle's closing in on Senna. They both have penalties as well. And up the inside goes Mr. Pickle on Senna for 9th. As Sloth repasses Smug. Swanton, Syme and Boris, your front 3. But the 2 of them have got penalties. And Syme, I'm sure, will be delighted to see that. As Al Newt now goes for Senna and up into P10. Go to the leaders as Syme's closing in, and he's going to go past Swanton here, and Syme is into the lead. Wall of Champions cam there. Delightful angle. Smug, Mr. Pickle. Sloth is off. Is he? He's certainly going slowly. And has lost a few more places. There was a brief yellow flag, but nothing lasting too long. You can see how close the front four are together. Sign from Swanton, from Boris, from Brad. Senna and Al Newt going at it. Colin looking to get involved as well. Some good midfield battling here. Oh, through the Wall of Champions they go side by side. That's never really a good idea. Senna edges out Al Newt, and now Colin is going to go up the inside of him. And Al Newt's forced wide and hits Colin. And 50 Gent was caught up with that. Ronnie's picked up a penalty. Colin now picks up a penalty, as does Miller Vanilla. Al Newton Sloth still there. The midfield battle here. Very lively indeed. But look at the penalties. We're not a third in yet. And look at the amount of penalties on your screen. Eight of the remaining 16 drivers already with penalties. Baker's prediction is crazy from Noodle from Cam this evening, as 50 Gent loses a couple more places and goes nearly right to the back. Colin is still in between the two Williamses. I'm going to tip, I think, someone different this evening. I'm exactly the same as Jonathan. I will be very happy if I can finish the race and get some points. But for some reason, I think Schlurak will go well. He's got a 100% record, remember. A big wobble! Big wobble for Colin there! Smug picks up a penalty. Colin almost threw it into the wall there, and it was a big wobble, and he did well to save it. I'm going to pick Schlurak to do well this evening. And possibly Adkins and Kieran. But we shall see. Into the lead goes Swanton. Swanton retaking the lead from Syme. Senna into the pits off the soft tyres. The first one to pit. Apart from those who had damage on lap 1. King Kong has also picked up a penalty. We will put those up on screen towards the end of the race because the sheer number of them is going to prove crucial. So far, Syme and Brad out of this top 4 are the ones keeping it clean. Shainesy, the latest to pick up a penalty. Syme with DRS looking to retake the lead. And does so. Swanton following him very closely though. As they start lap 13, Smug passes Mr. Pickle. That's because Mr. Pickle is on his way to the pit lane. And Colin has passed the Williamses now, but still has them for company. So Mr. Pickle comes out of the pits. A long stint left for him on mediums, potentially. And he's going to come out of the pits right at the back. In fact, just in front of Senna and Sainsy. Our new closing on Colin once again. Love this helicopter view. Al Newt just braked early and got out of it there. And that might bring the attention of his teammate. Back to the front runners as Swanton follows Syme through to start another lap. Sloth passes Al Newt for P9. But with Miller Vanilla dropping down, and Sloth's out! Out of the race is Sloth! And I think you can see him in the Wall of Champions. Sloth is out of the race. It's a virtual safety car at this point. Sainsy and 50 Gent are in the pits at the moment. It is still a virtual safety car at this point. Sloth is out. We're down to 15. And only 4 of them haven't got a penalty. Still under VSC only at the moment. Are the leaders going to box at this point? Brad Mason does box. Ninjas picks up a drive-through, which means only 3 now don't have any penalties. King Kong has also boxed. We are back racing. Smug now up to 5th. Brad's come back out on softs, so he's hoping for a late safety car. Surely won't go 20 laps on those. Ninjas is in the pits for his drive-through. Mr. Pickle passes Senna there. And he's up to P12. Brad has come back out in 7th behind Colin. Lap 15 of 35 in this thrilling race so far. Mr. Pickle's up to 11th now, passing 50 Gent. Making his way back up through the field. Brad is going to have a look here at Colin and gets it done. Brad back up to 6th from Colin. Ronnie at the moment is in P4 and comfortably winning in the Pro-Am race. Mr. Pickle sets the fastest lap of the race. And we breathe for a second as Sainsy picks up another time penalty. Brad Mason's next victim is Smug. And he's got a lot of pace on those soft tyres. So I can't see it be too long. Al Newt picks a penalty up. Now just 2 drivers who have not had a penalty in this race, and they are Brad Mason and Syme. And Brad is taking P5 now. Is he going to have the pace for the undercut as Smug boxes? Into the pits comes Smug. Boris picks up another penalty. Miller Vanilla's into the pits. King Kong sets the fastest lap. Just after Brad did. Syme continues to lead. Swanton and Boris continue to chase. Brad continues to eat into the gap. And is he timing the undercut to perfection? He may well be. But surely he won't be able to take those soft tyres to the end. Into the pits comes Syme. And picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Now only Brad Mason without a penalty. Where is Brad? Is he going to pass Syme? Al Newt passes Colin. Syme's coming out of the pits. Brad sets the fastest lap of the race and comes out in front of Syme. Syme comes out in 5th place ahead of Al Newt, who is up to 6th. And still being harassed by Colin. They've got King Kong for company, who's just picked up a penalty as we mentioned him. Boris closing in now on Swanton for the lead of the race. Both having a bit of a wobble as they exit the corner. King Kong passes Colin for 7th. Boris with DRS. Can he get close enough? No. And they continue on. Ronnie now into the pits. Ronnie into the pits, so Brad Mason goes back through to 3rd and Syme to 4th. Al Newt picks up a speeding penalty in the pits. And that's a shame for him. King Kong and Colin picks up another penalty.
With Paddy Power's Wonder Wheel, you get another chance to win every day. Imagine life with another chance. Come on, let's actually imagine it.
Excuse me, my mate fancies you.
He's a bit long, isn't he? No thanks. Yes!
Oh, nice one, babes. Come here.
You'll always get another chance with Paddy Power games.
Feel it now on PlayStation 5.
That dentist clean feeling fades the next day because my toothbrush leaves 50% of plaque behind. So I switched to the Oral-B IO electric toothbrush.
Its dentist-inspired round brush head cleans for 100% more plaque removal.
Now I get that dentist clean feeling every single day.
Oral-B. Brush like a pro.
Game mode from EE boosts your broadband to turbocharge your gaming. This is new EE.
Andrew just got 40% off an IPL hair removal device at Amazon. Now he's sharing his silky smooth dad bod with his friends at the Cold Water Plunge. Share the joy this Amazon Black Friday week with up to 40% off.
Game on, punch off. Download now.
Time to up your game. At Currys, we've upped ours with the arrival of the 13th Gen Intel Core processors for high FPS gaming and running multiple apps, like in this MSI Katana 15.6-inch gaming laptop and this Ace.
I'm a walking lick. Having nothing on my wrist. Paparazzi taking pics. Something you don't want to miss.
PlayStation.
Do you know how with that? Yeah, towards me, yeah, this way.
Yeah, back to me.
Then we'll go on the front, yeah.
And Mr. Pickle makes that work well. Good move for him, up to 7th place. Colin, the last one yet to pit. In fact, I don't think he is yet to pit because he pitted on lap 1. I apologise. He was, of course, caught up in the crash with Sainsy. So he did pit on lap 1. Surely can't make those last another 14 laps though. Ronnie catching King Kong with Swanton right behind them. Syme sets the fastest lap of the race. He's off in pursuit of Brad, and a wobble there from King Kong. Almost took Ronnie out. Swanton might go down the middle of the two of them. Ronnie takes 4th place. Swanton forced wide. Miller Vanilla picks up a penalty. Swanton now gets the move. Boris has picked up another penalty. Syme closing the gap now to Brad. Ronnie has not shook the attentions of Swanton and King Kong. Swanton then trying to get Ronnie here. Syme takes the lead. Into the lead of the race goes Syme. Swanton does get Ronnie down the straight and into P4. So Syme now leads. Can Brad stick with him? Can he make them soft tyres last? Senna picks up a time penalty. Let's put those penalties up on the board. Because it's a 5-second penalty for Syme, 3 for Brad, 9 for Boris, 3 for Swanton and Ronnie, 6 for King Kong, 3 for Mr. Pickle and Smug, 6 for Colin, 8 for 50 Gent now, he just picked up another one, Senna 6, Miller 6, Arnute 8, Sainsy 6, and Ninjas with none. So we'll leave those there for now, as they will make a difference. Smug now closing on Mr. Pickle. He'll get a bit of DRS here. As Smug goes up the inside of Mr. Pickle. As Swanton sets the fastest lap of the race. Colin's got another penalty. That's him up to 9. Very consistent pickup of penalties throughout the entire field. But the differing levels of those will make a difference come at the end of the race. Who is within striking distance? Maybe Swanton now catching Boris Johnson. And Brad has pitted once again. So he did have to pit again, and he is going to rejoin in 6th place. Ahead of Smug. Mr. Pickle also into the pits. And he's right back down to 13th. Swanton closing now and passing Boris. Swanton up into 2nd. Now Newt picks up another penalty. He's the first one into double figures. Boris tailing Swanton very closely here. Syme has driven off into the distance as he does when he gets the lead. 8 seconds clear now. Which at the moment is going to be enough to see him pick up another victory. Ronnie leads the Pro-Ams. Miller Vanilla just past 50 gent there. Al Newt still trying to battle with Senna. Despite the extra penalties he's got. They're actually not that far behind Miller Vanilla and 50 gent either. Brad now catching King Kong. He's going to be quick on those soft tyres, as you saw the last time he stopped. And he's looking to get the move done here on King Kong for P5. Boris staying very close to the back of Swanton. But at the moment not making an impact. Senna and Senna and Al Newt both past 50 gent. Because 50 gent is in the pits. And Smug's picked up another time penalty. Swanton and Boris have just closed that gap a little bit on Syme. Still 8 laps to go. Anything can happen. If you've got a lot of penalties, you're praying for no safety car. If you're ninjas at the back, you're praying for a safety car. Round the outside goes Boris. Smug's lost a couple of places to the AlphaTauris. In fact, Smug is in the pits. So So that's why Smug dropped down the order. Boris got back past Swanton. The penalties surely nullify that one. Miller is now back up to second of the Pro-Ams. This man, even when he has a bad race. And Syme has picked up another penalty. And Swanton could well still be in a chance of victory here. He needs to find a couple of seconds on Syme. If he keeps getting DRS from Boris, he might have half a chance. As I was saying, Miller Vanilla, even when he has a bad race, is still up there on the podium for the Pro-Ams. Mr. Pickle passing Colin and Al Newt there. And Miller Vanilla goes up another place because King Kong is in the pits. So some late pit stops coming in here as the tyres degrade maybe a bit quicker than people thought. Mr. Pickle now closing up to Miller Vanilla. Swanton remains nearby to Boris, but not closing the gap to Syme. King Kong passing Al Newt. Al's going to fight it and a bit of a wheel touch. Bit of a wheel touch sent out across the escape part there. King Kong now pursuing Colin. And round the outside goes King Kong as Miller Vanilla passes. As Miller Vanilla is passed by Mr. Pickle. Miller picks up another time penalty. Smug sets the fastest lap of the race now. Boris and Swanton are closing slightly on Syme, but is it going to be nearly enough? I don't think so. Brad closing in on Ronnie for P4. And past goes Brad Mason into P4. Colin dropped a couple of places further back to Al Newt and to Smug. Smug now going for the inside. New tyres for Smug. Surely going to get this move done here on Al Newt. And does indeed, back up to 9th place. Syme maintaining the gap at the moment. It's in the 7-second bracket. Swanton needs to be within 5 on current penalties. Al Newt in the wall. Into the wall goes Al Newt. Didn't see what happened there, but it's not good news for the Williams. Boris closing in once again on Swanton. Penalty's going to ruin it for him. At the moment, Brad is going to nick a podium. Ronnie picks up another time penalty, and that could cost him. Before that, he was looking like leapfrogging his teammate. And Senna scrapping away. 50 Gent involved as well. And into the pits comes Al Newt. Smug looking to go side by side with Miller Vanilla. And might have a go into the hairpin here. Good move by Smug. And up into P8. That'll hold as well. King Kong has picked up another time penalty. So Boris continues to hassle Swanton, who can't get anywhere near Syme. We've got just 3 laps left now. We're lap 33 of 35. Boris might well lose it on the penalties, but he's going to give it a go anyway on the road. Swanton then. Can he get back past? Does he need to? 2 laps to go. He doesn't need to. I don't think the win's on for him now. Sainsbury picks up another penalty. King Kong passes Mr. Pickle. But he's going to need 3-second gap. And a yellow in sector 2 is... was that Sainsbury? I believe it was. Sainsbury followed by Ninjas as they're about to be lapped by Syme. Senna picks up a time penalty. We've barely mentioned Syme. So Syme starts the final lap of the race then. Boris still ahead of Swanton. It's not going to matter in the end. It's Brad then from Ronnie in 5th. Ronnie set for a victory in the Pro-Am. King Kong's next, but Mr. Pickle will jump him. Al Newt passes Ninjas at the back of the field, but that shouldn't make a difference. 50 Gent's going to gain a place on Senna with penalties. But here comes Syme. He's got an Aston Martin in front of him, who would be better getting out of the way to get lapped. That's Sainsbury, I believe. Syme comes through the Wall of Champions and wins in Canada. Swanton has taken second on the road from Boris. And Swanton comes across in second. Boris will come third but drop down behind Brad Mason, who takes third for Haas. Ronnie fourth, Boris fourth, Ronnie fifth, wins the Pro-Am. Then it'll be King Kong, who'll be jumped by Mr. Pickle. So 6th place for Mr. Pickle, 7th for King Kong, 8th for Smug. Miller Vanilla is next home in 9th. Senna passes Colin. 50 Gent into the last corner. Senna, Colin, 50 Gent into the last corner altogether. Senna ends up ahead of Colin. 50 Gent just on penalties takes both of them for P10. And a podium in the Pro-Ams for 50 Gent behind Miller Vanilla and Ronnie the winner. Senna just missing out on that. Colin down in 12th. Sainsy crosses the line last in 13th, with the other two being a lap down. Apologies, folks, losing my voice a little bit there. Mr. Pickle is driver of the day for the game. I think I've lost the game sound for a minute. It's Syme the winner. Swanton in second and Brad Mason in third. Boris from pole had to settle for P4 because of penalties. Fifth was Ronnie. A prime win for him. Sixth, Mr. Pickle. Seventh, King Kong. Eighth was Smug with the fastest lap of the race. Ninth and second in the Pro-Am was Miller Vanilla. And 10th, third in the Pro-Am, 50 Gent. Senna finished 11th, Colin in 12th. Sainsy was 13th from Ninjas, a lap down in 14th. And Al Newt, a lap down in 15th. The DNFs were Sloth and Easy Life. So, there we go. Join us again in about half an hour, where we will be off to Japan, the land of the rising sun, Suzuka. It's Blobby Mondays with Baker Plays, live from 10 PM here on twitch.tv/Blobby_Butler. A reminder, Thursday, I'm not here, but DRO UK will be here with all the DRS Extreme action back here in Canada from 8 PM on Thursday. But that'll be it from me after tonight until next Monday, when I'll be bringing you the DRS action, followed by Blobby and Baker's trip to Qatar. Until then, folks, join me again in half an hour. Well, that's it from DRS this week from me. Good night.